again, everyone, and welcome to Larry's Starting Lineup, Season 2, as we will be talking to a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins front office, but he also is our good friend to Top of the Incline Sports and Larry's Starting Lineup. He is the general manager of the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds of the American Ultimate Disc League, and the season is going to kick off this weekend. So we welcome Andrew Gardner back. Andrew, it's good to see you, and we've come back around a year now. We're ready to go again.
No place I'd rather be than Larry's Starting Lineup. You know the season's about to start when you're on Larry's Starting Lineup. That's all I got to say.
Well, thank you so much. The exciting news came out in March. Both the Thunderbirds and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds of the United Soccer League issued press releases talking about the fact that the Thunderbirds would play all 6 of their regular season home games on the south side of the Steel City at Highmark Stadium. Can you talk about a little bit? I know you played one game there last season in June where we had the retirement ceremony for the number 4 for David Vatz. How did we progress from having one game there to now we're going to play the whole season there?
Yeah, so this will be our 3rd game on Saturday ever at Highmark Stadium. I always love to bring up, we played Minnesota Windchill in a playoff game there in 2016 and won, and it was an epic game. So that was super fun. How did we get here? Big credit to the front office staff at the Riverhounds, Jim Pappas, Jeff over there. Nicole Rudy was my old boss at the Pittsburgh Penguins, and she is now the director of ticketing over there. So we just, some really good conversations, and it worked out. I think that they saw the vision of having us come in and play our home games at Highmark Stadium and do a little cross promoting. I mean, we've become big Riverhounds fans as well. So been to a couple of soccer games, and it's been a lot of fun. And now we get to show the ultimate world what we can do with all these fun new toys. So we're going to have a Jumbotron. We're going to have a lot of new cool amenities to play around with, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
In fact, you already have had one exhibition during a Riverhounds, home soccer game. The Thunderbirds, did an exhibition at halftime. Are there any more of those going to be coming up during the season, or was that the one and done a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I think that's the one and done. We had one more lined up, but we're in season now. So as much as we'd like to do, and we're just going to be very busy, we're going to try to jam pack everything we can into practice time for the guys, as well as just we're going to be traveling. So we'll either be traveling or playing real games at Highmark Stadium. But yeah, if you had an opportunity to check us out, I think there were 5,000 people. Kudos to the Riverhound staff for getting a great crowd out at their game against, I think it was the team from Texas. They won that game 2-0. It was a lot of fun. It rained a bit, but the weather cleared up, and we just tossed, I think, like 15, 20 discs into the stands, and gave the fans there a little taste of what's to come, which will be on Saturday, April 29th.
Second-year head coach Max Borowski has some new help on the sidelines this year with Andrew Miller and Nick Bozich. And you and I did have a little bit of an opportunity to talk about how they're bringing into the analytical side of the disc game, to their coaching and to the players and to the staff. And I just wondered if you could talk about that a little bit, new coaches helping out on the sideline, and where do we go from 4 victories and 5th place in the Central last season? I know we want to make the playoffs in 2023, but how is this analytical side going to help?
Well, it's something that we haven't really looked into, honestly. I can't talk enough great stuff about what Nick Bozich and Andrew Miller have done. It's not that our head coach, Max Borowski, wasn't capable. He had James Greeno was an assistant coach for us last year and helped out a lot on the video side. But he just needs help, right? Everyone does better when you've got a couple of extra brains and hands working on a project. So Andrew Miller and Nick Bozich have been completely engrossed in the process, and they're constantly on Discord. I don't know if you know, for folks who don't know what Discord is, just basically our chat app, and they'll go back and forth until 2 a.m. I have to mute my notifications because they're just constantly chatting about what the new offensive schemes are going to look like, the defensive schemes. Hey, what if we run this, run that? it's been so great to have them. And I'm really excited to see all of the work that we've put in on the coaching side of things and how that's going to translate in a new season. When you alluded to, we were 5th in the division, and those aren't our aspirations. Mike Tomlin says the standard's the standard. It's the standard here as well. We expect to be in the playoffs, and that's our goal. Anything short of that, is short of our goal.
Some very familiar names are going to be back on the field this Saturday at Highmark Stadium. Of course, 2022 All-Star team captain Max Shepard is back with, his 32 assists, 34 goals, 11 blocks. He was really, just everything last season for the team. And we got a new player coming in Jacob Anthovan, who's coming in from Detroit to be part of the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds this season. And we also have another face coming back. He's played for the Thunderbirds in the past, but he's been having trouble the last season or so with some knee problems, but he seems to be finally over it. One of the best handlers, possibly, certainly in the Central Division, in Jonathan Mast. So how about those 3 players? How's everything looking in practice for them?
Yeah, John, don't call me Jonathan Mass is what I like to tease him with. Yeah, he's back. I can't again undersell his importance to the team. He's the center guy. He's the one who's going to facilitate dish. His ultimate IQ is off the charts. He knows the game so well. He brings a mini drone to every single practice, and then we'll spend the time narrating over the practice. So breaking down, hey, this didn't go right here. We should be moving here or there. His insight, his value, his presence to the team is unbridled. He was named captain of the team, so he is going to be part of our captainship team along with Anson and Jimmy Toll. So those will be our 3 captains moving forward. That's breaking news on Larry's starting lineup. So you heard it here first. So that's exciting. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, having John Mass, we can't understate how great it is to have him back. I think you talked about Jacob Anthovan coming from Detroit. It's always a bonus when you get to poach another player from a rival divisional team. So it feels a little bit better. I think he had, how many goals, Larry? You probably have the stats. Did he finish 35, 40 goals last year?
21 goals, 15 assists with the Mechanics last season.
Okay. I mean, so he's a downfield threat. He's going to be coming to practices more regularly once he finishes up his finals. So he's still in school. He's down at Ohio State, actually. So he'll be coming up with Charlie Vukovic and that crew down in Columbus. Super excited to have him. He's going to be a game changer. And then we also get a couple of veterans back too, Larry. We get AT back, Alex Thomas, who's going to be an absolute force on our defensive line. And we're going to be getting Dylan Best back, who, in my opinion, was one of the biggest Rookie of the Year snubs back in 2019. He didn't get enough appreciation and love, and he should be hitting our roster sometime around May when he's officially back and locked and loaded in Pittsburgh. So that's just like the tip of the iceberg in terms of the additions we made. I think that we're definitely a better team. And I know Detroit lost Andrew Sjogren, and Chicago lost Pablo Giannis, and Minnesota lost Andrew Roy, and unfortunately Madison lost Kevin Pettit-Scantling to an ACL injury. So the division's wide open for the taking. Who wants it? And I can tell you right now, Pittsburgh wants it.
Very good. You were talking about Alex Thomas. I've seen some scouting reports on Alex, and they definitely impressed with his athleticism. 13 goals, 6 assists, and 10 blocks back in 2019. And Dylan Best had 15 goals and 18 assists in that same year. One of the other correspondents, Alex Rubin of ultraworld.com, pointed out that the Pittsburgh faithful may want to keep an eye on the efforts of defender David Sneed and cutter Mikey O'Brien. And I know you had a video up on the Facebook page on Mikey O'Brien at practice. So talk about these 2 young gentlemen.
Yeah, all right, Larry. Yeah, it depends on when you're going to post this. You got to be careful with Mikey O'Brien. He's going to be our secret weapon. So Mikey's going to be our big guy. He's burst on the scene. He's been at every practice. We're very high on Mikey. He's going to fill a very important role for us. He's athletic as heck. Mikey's the real deal, and I think everyone will know Mikey O'Brien's name after week one. I'm not trying to put any pressure on him, but the talent is there. He's very good. Sneed is still working back. I'm not sure if he's injured, but he actually hasn't been at any of our practices yet. Excited to see what Sneed's going to do. Actually, we brought him on. I believe he ran a very, very, very fast 40 time at the combine. So we're basically our vision, Larry, this year was like build athleticism. You don't have to throw a 90-yard forehand. That we got Sam Van Dusen for that. Like Shep can do that. We have the throwers. Now we got to get the disc, and I think we struggled with that a bit last year, and getting the disc and then converting. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of athletic guys this season. A lot of dudes who can go out, just get the disc, run fast, and excited for that.
Well, that and also the return of some mainstays. Anson Reppelman is back, as well as a couple players that I think maybe they're going to be ready to move their game up another level, and that's going to be Connor Newell and Clint McSherry. And I was just curious about how they're looking in practice the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're great. It's so great to have Clint McSherry back. So Clint obviously still lives in North Carolina, but we're going to be flying him to games. He's that important for our offense. He's going to be playing right alongside John Mass. So those two guys have some chemistry that works. We've already gotten Clint up to a lot of practices in Pittsburgh, and it's like they've been playing Ultimate since they were 5 years old together. It's incredible to watch. They've got phenomenal chemistry. So look for John Mass and Clint, who are both active, ready to go against Madison, to have some really great offensive flow between the two. And then you touched on Connor Newell. Connor Newell is a hybrid. You can ask this guy to do whatever, and he's going to do it. You can put him in the handler space. You can have him cut. He was originally a cutter, Larry, and last year we asked him to handle, and he did a great job. He is dealing with a bit of a hip injury, so he will not be participating. We hope to get him back in a couple of weeks once he rehabs from his hip injury. But Connor is just one of those guys who can absolutely, to your point, take a step forward, as well as Pete Zaccardi. We love Pete. Pete's been phenomenal for us as well. I think now he's entering his third season. And Pete's probably a player to look out for as well. Anson is Anson. He's the air traffic controller. He hasn't lost a step. He's still faster than ever.
Yeah, Pete Zaccardi. When I was looking over the numbers from last season, he kind of snuck up on me. He had 18 goals last season. I didn't realize he had contributed that much to the box score as he did. So yeah, I agree with you. I think he is coming on, and with each season, he's bringing his game up to a new level, another level, and making very solid contributions to the Thunderbirds on the scoreboard. And one of the things that has been going around the AUDL grapevine, shall we say, has been talk about a rule change. And that rule change is that the pulls, and for those who may not be fully into Ultimate Disc, the pull is at the beginning of the game, and at the start the second half, it's like the kickoff in football. And the pulls will be now taken from the brick mark, and it's going to be creating a 20-yard difference between 80 yards down to 60 yards. And what it's going to mean for the fans who are watching, the defenders will have less distance to race down the field to guard their opponent. And so we were talking about this before we started the broadcast. The other question is, how does this handle the people who handle the pools? And when we're talking about handling the pools in Pittsburgh, we're talking about the man, Sam Van Dusen. Sam Van gets the job done. And has this really affected him in practice at all, or he's adapting pretty well to this change?
Yeah, let's share the story for the listeners. We talked on it pre-show, but we were joking around, and basically we're saying, well, Sam, how are you going to do with this new rule change? Because he just kept pulling the disc into the parking lot every single time. It was just, I'm too strong. I just too strong. And of course, that really wasn't the case. Sam Van has been honing in on it. We've been taking this rule change very seriously. It's something that is going to put a immense amount of pressure on the offense. And in fact, this is not going to neuter Sam Van's ability whatsoever in terms of his pulling prowess. he's going to have to put more loft on the disc, more hang time, and it's going to be need to be a little bit more accurate. And with such power, it makes it easier to get that loftiness. And he's not having any problems really coffin corner pulling these pulls off the jump. We also are going to have to get down there quick, but we won't have to get there as quick as we used to have to when you were pulling from the end zone line. It's a very important rule change. I think every team who is focusing in on this rule is doing the right thing. If you're not, you're missing out on a massive opportunity. And we're very fortunate to have Sam Van in our corner being able to pull to the corner. You're going to see a huge uptick in Callahans. Callahans are going to skyrocket this season. They're very rare, and they were rare. But having and forcing offenses to make multiple throws inside their own end zone leads to very tense moments. And I think you're going to see a lot of great plays and a lot of turning points in games because of this rule change.
Now, one of the home games that's going to be coming up, you're going to be on the road for a couple of weeks, is the next date that Thunderbird fans are going to want to circle on their calendar is going to be Saturday, May 27th. And it's the battle for the Commonwealth Cup. The Philadelphia Phoenix are coming to town to Highmark Stadium. And remind everyone, including me, who has the trophy right now, because I thought it was the Thunderbirds. Am I correct?
You're correct. We have the trophy. Yeah, we won at JC Stone Field back in 2019, and there's a very proud picture. We've actually been passing around that cup for quite some time. We use it as a practice MVP trophy, and so we have every intention of keeping that cup within the Pittsburgh household. But we know it's not going to be easy. Philadelphia added a lot of great talent. They're a tremendous team. We respect them. We respect what our in-state rivals are doing, but we're also just more thrilled that the ABL has allowed us to play Philadelphia because they are not within our division. So it is a out of division game, and we're excited to make this a tradition. So we're excited to be able to put the trophy up as a stake because we haven't been able to do that in a couple of years. But now that it is, and they're coming in, the trophy will be on display and it's up for grabs. But we intend to keep it.
Very good indeed. Now, we've been talking about, this Saturday is the home opener at Highmark Stadium against the Madison Radicals. And last year, that game in June with the retirement of the number 4 for David Vatz, I think it was a 1-point game, and it came down to a goal in like the last 10 seconds or so. Madison, pulled it out and walked away with the victory. I think both games, both the game at Highmark Stadium and then playing the Radicals on the road, I believe, I got to double check the figures, but I think there was like only 2 games and there was like a 3-point difference in terms of the margin of victory. I mean, this could be a very, very close game. I did not make an outright prediction because it's the first game of the year, and we really got to see not only the Thunderbirds, but we got to see what the Radicals are doing, with their game. And so if I would do a prediction right now, I'm just going to say it might be a 1-point game difference when the clock sounds off on Saturday.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us if it's 1 goal, 15 goals. We just care about the W. I think the most important thing for us and what the guys have been communicating is we're not really concerned with who like Madison is bringing. I mean, obviously for scouting purposes and who we're matching up against is obviously important. I mean, from that aspect we do, but in terms of who they're bringing and what we got to do, all you can say is we expect to win. No one's saying we expect to win by 5, or no one's saying we expect to lose by 5 or this or that. It's just, we're going to go out, we're going to play Pittsburgh Ultimate. We're going to play our brand. We're going to play what we've been practicing all season long. And everyone in this roster believes that we can beat this team and start the year 1-0. I truly, there's a full conviction in that we can win this game.
And I see the precincts have closed, and Kyle Archer is going to be the new mayor of Highmark Stadium here this season, your game host. He's got some things cooked up for the fans when they come out this Saturday and for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, Kyle's awesome. So go say hi to Kyle. He's going to be waving the big flag. He's going to get people pumped up. Man with the microphone, the MC, he's back. And so he'll be rocking Highmark Stadium come April 29th. We love Kyle. He's the best.
And let's tell everybody, how do you get tickets to go see the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds?
Yeah, so this year, just head on over to Ticketmaster, actually. So we moved over to that platform. If you also want to just go to our website, we have direct URL links to that. Go to pghthunderbirds.com, go ahead and click on tickets. It'll direct you right there. If you want to just Google Pittsburgh Thunderbirds tickets, it should come up. It's through Ticketmaster. You can also do groups. When I do group tickets, you can call me. I am the group sales manager as well, Larry. So literally feel free to call 330-979-9347. You can get your group tickets through me. It's a lot cheaper doing it that way.
There you go. And let's talk about the fact that, there's going to be a bye week. And then, once we get past the home opener here, and then it's going to be time to hit the road for the first road game of the season. And it's going to be facing a long-time Central Division rival. And you can't mention them without talking about the streak, and that's the Detroit Mechanics. And what do you think? Your thoughts on the Detroit Mechanics for 2023?
Well, I do say this, Larry. So, like, a lot of preseason polls and rankings will come out. We don't really pay much attention to it, and one person says one thing, and another person says you can look at the roster subtractions and you can look at the roster additions, but there's so many unknown rookies in the league. So, and I think you already alluded to it. You couldn't even make a prediction on how you feel about this massive Pittsburgh game because you need to see both teams first. I think that's fair. In terms of the subtraction and addition thing, I mean, they obviously lost Andrew Sjogren, which is a big loss for them. We now have Jacob Anthony on in the black and gold instead of the Mechanics. So those are two key losses. Maybe some rookies step up. I think outside of when we're not playing them, you feel for them. They're a scrappy team, and they really care about that organization. And there's a lot of players there that have stuck with it, and they really want to try to break the streak. Eventually, I hope they do. I just hope that it's not against us, and we're going to do everything. We don't take Detroit for granted. We're not going in there thinking, hey, this is going to be a cakewalk. I mean, heck, we've been there. We had to beat them in double overtime. We've had many close games against them. They've been leading at the half against us multiple times. We don't mess around with them. We're gonna have to put our foot down. It's gonna be a tough battle, but we intend to keep their streak alive as well.
And let's wrap it up here one more time. Any special promotions or giveaways being planned this season for the Thunderbirds? And again, remind everyone one more time about where they can get their tickets.
Yeah, head over to pjthunderbirds.com, click on tickets. You can go to Ticketmaster, grab your tickets there. I do group tickets as well. Season tickets is a fantastic value. Some games cost a little bit more than others. So if you are worried about that, it's basically $10 a ticket right now for 6 games. So for $60, you can get the entire season. So it's really is a good deal there. I will plug, Larry, if you'll let me. The ADL has had a big youth initiative program going.
Okay.
I would say almost all of the teams now are going to have what's called a kids club, Pittsburgh included. So we're going to have a kids club membership activation at every single game. 8 and under, by the way, always get in for free. So if your kid is 8 and under, you get into the stadium for free. That is the Thunderbirds saying we place a large emphasis on youth exploring the game of Ultimate, finding us and falling in love with the sport, just like I did back in the day. So you can, for $25, you can get a signed disc from a player. You will get Thunder sticks. You're going to get a Thunderbirds bracelet. You're going to get a Thunderbirds youth tee. And then you're also going to be first in line for all of our cool experiences. So kids player tunnel, throwing out the first pool, doing the coin toss. These are all going to be run by kids. And if you're a kids club member with the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds, you're going to have opportunity for that. You'll get 10% off all youth merchandise in the future, and then also 20% off any future camps and clinics that we run. So for $25, we feel like that's a pretty good deal, and we're excited to be able to launch the first ever Thunderbirds Kids Club. And that's going to be, you can sign your kid up at the game on Saturday, April 29th.
Very good. That is Andrew Gardner. We have been talking about the American Ultimate Disc League and your Pittsburgh Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds are a go, and we're looking forward to the home opener this Saturday, April 29th, when they take on the Madison Radicals at Highmark Stadium. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Larry's Starting Lineup. I'm Larry Snyder, again, Andrew Gardner, and we'll be talking with Andrew again, I'm sure, throughout the season. And hopefully this year we'll get the coaches or maybe some players to come on and be part of the lineup also. So that's it for now. You can see the posting of the interview here on top of the Incline Sports, along with our preview for that game. And we'll see you later, everyone.